Hello there, YouTube. Devin here again. Little bit of a different video for the first part of today. There still will be a helmet video. It'll just come a little later after I get back from work. But before I go to work here, I have a very long awaited, about 6 months waiting, actually, a piece of the Smle project. Now, for those of you who don't know, I have been basically building an Smle from scratch, number 1 Mark III. So not a number 1 Mark III star, but a number 1 Mark III. And it's basically going to be match grade, as well as being pretty historically accurate for kind of the early World War I-ish period. So I, way back in June, as a birthday present, so June of 2020, the year of our, I wouldn't say Lord and Savior because it's been kind of crap, I bought a Smle receiver and barrel. Now these are an actual Enfield produced, shortly Enfield, made in 1915. The receiver is, and the barrel is numbers matching to the receiver, non-import marked, any of these, but the barrel is from 1939, so it's a very nice barrel, basically brand new. Both of these, both the receiver and the barrel are basically new old stock from quite a ways ago. And I'm building it, basically that's how I got it. It's all that I got. It didn't have a safety, didn't have a sear, didn't have a magazine catch, didn't have anything other than that. And I've been progressively putting it together over the last 6 months, making sure to buy basically new old stock parts for it, and everything like that. Even got the mag cut off, the windage adjustable rear sights, the whole thing, building it all, putting it all together. It didn't even have a front sight when I got it. I had to put the front sight block on it, the rear sight block, everything. I had to put it all together essentially. So I will be showing you a video of how to do all of that, probably minus putting the rear and front sight blocks on, because that kind of sucks to line up, and that took forever, and I wasn't really happy with that. Doing that anyways, that was kind of a nightmare. But that's pretty easy. I'll explain to you how to do it and everything like that. But I've been waiting for 6 months. Basically, now that I have all the metal parts, I had all of those in basically 2 months to wait for. But then I had to get a stock made for it. Now this is the stock in question that I've been waiting 6 months for. And it's made out of a beautiful piece of French walnut, and all the other parts are off camera. But we're just comparing this today. So as you can see, it has the very kind of rough finish marks in it and everything. It's going to need to be kind of hand sanded and hand fit ever so slightly still. Not going to take too much. It should be pretty easy to do. It's like 95% of the way there. So it just needs some nice light little fit and finish, and then obviously the whole long staining and tongue oiling and everything else process that it's going to need as well in order before it will get put on the rifle. But I figured today we would compare this reproduction stock that I have, reproduction walnut stock that I have, to an original walnut stock that I have for a number 1 Mark III star. This is an actual British Army made and marked, property marked, Smle stock from early World War II. This one's probably 40 or 41 dated, so I figured we would, you know, flip the camera around and get it to a little bit of a closer angle and see kind of the quality of an original stock, so kind of before wartime economy measures really kicked in, but after they had all the kinks worked out of it, you know, by the 40s pretty much. Stock compared to a new reproduction stock. And then of course I will give you the link in the description to these people, the people that made the stock. They're not cheap by any means, but I believe they are well worth the money because after getting the stock and looking at the quality of it, even before fit and finish, is quite impeccable. They do an incredibly good job. So we'll flip the camera around and everything like that here. You guys in the Discord and the Patreon supporters, everyone in the Discord is a Patreon supporter. have been waiting a long for this, getting sneak peeks, previews, and stuff like that and everything. So if that's something that interests you as well, there will be a link to the Patreon in the Discord. It goes a long way to really support the channel, especially since YouTube is so wishy-washy with how they pay me, so and everything like that. So without further ado, we will now flip the camera around and take a look at some of these stocks up close, and I'll go over some of the features and everything like that, and we will see how the reproduction compares to an original. So stay tuned for that. Alrighty, so here we are flipped over to the other camera angle, and we'll take a look at the original stock first, kind of at a straight looking down into where the action and barrel would sit angle, and then we will progressively kind of walk it back here and let you kind of take a look at all the details and everything. I don't know why the camera's not focusing all that well. There we go. So we'll start over now that the camera's focused and let you guys kind of take a look at how the detail is and how the finish is on the original kind of stock. And you can see this one has been in an action before, and it does have some damage and some reinforcement. I don't know if that's why it wasn't put on a gun, but you can see kind of some stuff here. I don't know if it was intentionally like that. This hasn't been on a gun that I've owned. Obviously you see where somebody was doing some prying here, where part of the action was kind of set and impacted some of the wood. You see a reinforcement back here as well as some missing pieces. I don't know if this was something done at the factory just to salvage it. Because the war was on, and it's better than nothing, and it could be fixed. It's better than throwing this whole piece away and starting over. So now we'll set this down, and we'll compare it to the reproduction one. So as you can see now, these spots kind of have some like chatter marks, some machine marks on them. You'll see that as far as this goes, and there's obviously still some kind of sawdust and some rough stuff in there that'll be taken off with hand sanding. It's actually a really good quality. I'm quite impressed with how this stock turned out, to be honest. I'm incredibly happy and satisfied with it. So this was made by a company called Prestigious Wood Stocks. They are in Canada, and they basically specialize in 1911 grips and Lee Enfield stocks. So as you can see here, now we are looking at the bottom of the original stock. Looks pretty good, and now we'll flip over the reproduction here. Now remember, this reproduction stock is a Mark III, not a Mark III Star. Both of these stocks have the space for the magazine cutout, which would be this kind of dip right here. Because a lot of people seem to think that the Mark III and the Mark III Star, the only difference between those is the magazine cutoff. That's not true. Plenty of Mark III Stars had magazine cutoffs. Indian manufacturers like Ishapur made magazine cutoffs into the 30s on theirs. The main difference between the Mark III and the Mark III Star is the presence of the volley sights. The volley sights were deemed really unnecessary by kind of mid-World War I, so this has the provision for the volley sight dial, as you can see. So that's really the major difference between the Mark III and the Mark III Star. But hopefully you guys can see all this cool stuff and everything like that, and you'll join me on the journey. There will be plenty more videos to come on finishing this stock and everything like that. As well as more stuff on the Smle project, is like how to put one together basically and everything like that. So we'll cover all that in future videos and stuff like that. So for the meantime, we'll flip the camera around, get my opinion and everything like that, talk more about the company that made this stock and everything, and then we will wrap up the video. So the wood stock, just to show you the kind of other parts that I got, I did get a rear handguard here. It is missing. All of these wood pieces, by the way, are going to be missing their their reinforcement parts, you will have to put those on yourself and find those. This is merely just the wood, so they're not giving you a stock that's like ready to just drop onto a gun. They do require some hand sanding and some finishing. Obviously, these are raw wood, which is something that is a really neat feature, because if you're like me and you want to do like the very, very dark, very, very early SMLE type finish, you're going to need to get creative, basically, in order to mimic that. But this is the buttstock, as you can see here. It is incredibly well done, quite well made. It's again, solid piece of walnut. No reinforcements, anything in it like that. They're going to take work. There is work that still needs to be done on these, quite a lot. But Prestigious Wood Stocks is a company that I found. I wasn't recommended to them or anything. I found them and got in contact with them about, because I saw that they had #1 Mark III Star stocks on their website. Now, if that's something that interests you, they have those in stock, ready to ship currently as of this video being uploaded. I propositioned them to be like, hey, I'm trying to build a #1 Mark III, not a star pattern. I told them kind of some of the differences, and I'm like, it wouldn't be too hard to do. I'm like, I have a volley sight if you want me to send that to you, that you can use as a reference for putting that into a 4-stock and everything like that. And they're like, no, we've been thinking about doing it for a while, but your email kind of proved that there's interest in it, so we can start putting that into the works. It's going to take time to do and everything. I'm like, that's fine. Take all the time you need, you know? And I would check in with them about once a month over the course of the 6 months of them making this, to get updates on the development and everything like that. And if you would like to get a hold of these guys, they make jungle carbine stocks. They make SMLE stocks, both the #1 Mark III and the #1 Mark III Star. They make #1 Mark I SMLE stocks. They have 1911 grips and a bunch of different kinds of woods. You can request what kind of wood you would like it made out of. So if you want a really weird SMLE made out of some kind of weird wood, if you're willing to like pay extra for a different kind of wood, they'll make you an SMLE stock in a different kind of wood, which is really, really neat. They've done some weird stuff where they've had some SMLE stocks that they've done with like resin through them that look really, really neat, and some other cool stuff. So if that's something for you, that'd be really, really cool. Once again, I'll drop their website down in the description of the video. They're not paying me to do this or anything. I just think it's a very, very good company, and there's a lot of people out there looking for SMLE stocks. SMLEs are getting old, and there isn't a lot of wood out there for them anymore. It's actually one of the hardest parts to find. So I want to give these guys a shout out so we can keep preserving this history and everything like that. And they're, in all honesty, very, very good guys over there. It took me a long time to get the stock, but they were very good at keeping me updated and everything like that with the progress and where everything was, especially with how weird 2020's been. I really can't thank them enough. I'm quite impressed with this stock and everything, and I plan on ordering more stocks from them in the future now that I own like 5 Enfields and don't have any plans to stop buying Enfields, so that do need work. So hopefully, if you guys need something like that or are interested in a project, they're very cool guys over there. If you have an SMLE or a #4 or a #5 jungle carbine or anything like that that needs work, they can work that out for you and hopefully get you something that you like to restore your gun to its full glory, because it's a small business, budding small business into a very niche market, and they do have rapidly expanding stocks. I hope someday they'll make, you know, pattern 14 stocks / 1917 stocks. I hope they make all of this cool stuff in the future, you know, which would be really, 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 really sweet. So hopefully you all like this video and you subscribe if you like this sort of thing. This probably won't be a very popular video, much like my last one, because there's a lot of people out there that really don't like the Enfields, and I'm kind of known for being a helmet channel, so people really don't like my content that's not helmets. If you want to support the channel financially, there's 2 ways to do that. You can donate through Patreon, which I'll leave a link to in the description, for contributions, which go fantastically long ways to really helping the channel, and I appreciate that so much, especially since my money on YouTube fluctuates by quite a significant amount every single month based on algorithms and all this other crap that's going on, and user agreement changes and stuff like that they constantly keep shoving down our throats, as well as basically they're being dictators of the site, and whatever values and views they see, kind of, they can enforce upon us. So Patreon's a great way to support the channel if that's something that interests you, and it gets you into the Discord, which is basically like a cult that I run of like-minded people, and we talk about everything under the sun, not just surplus. There's camouflage food, alcohol, tabs and stuff like that, where we all kind of just talk about life and everything like that too. It's a really neat place where you can really fit in. There's something for everyone there for the most part. So I don't think I have any female Patreon supporters yet either, which would be kind of nice, because I only have like a 0.2% female audience, and I think that'd be pretty sweet to get one of you guys into the Discord. And everything like that, and ask you guys a whole bunch of questions about what you like about the channel and whatnot, and what you'd like to see. Get some opinions, because I'd kind of like to get that female audience up a little higher, at least to like 2%. Would be pretty cool. So it'd be nice to get your guys' opinion on stuff too. If you're watching this video, you could leave me a comment on what got you interested into my channel and what you like about what I do and stuff like that. Or maybe you just think I'm cute or something. I don't know. Whatever. And guys, you can leave all that stuff in the comments too. I'm very unbiased to that and stuff like that. I'm always open to suggestions for new videos from anybody. So I appreciate all of you, each and every one of you. Of course, if you can't support the channel monetarily, watching the videos, you know, to completion and leaving a comment, liking and subscribing and stuff obviously helps in the algorithms a ton, so I appear in more suggested videos and everything, which means more people will watch, which means I get slightly more ad revenue. Not a ton, but slightly more, and it all helps in the end. So thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. I look forward to new Patreon members and stuff like that towards the end of the year. Kind of like to get up to 20 Patreon supporters. We're at 16, but I have some that drop off every month or so as some of their things lapse and whatnot, and I get 20, you know, yada yada, this and that. But my goal is to get to 20 by the end of the year. As little as $1 a month gets you in. And hopefully I will see all of you in the future, and like I said, a helmet video will be coming later today if I feel like filming it, depending on how work goes and everything like that. It's been real hectic this last couple of weeks, so we'll see how I feel and everything like that, and there will hopefully be a live stream later today if that's something interests you as well. So thank you all for watching, and I will see all of you in the next video. I'm going to start editing all this, and then I'm going to head off to work, and hopefully see all of you in the future. Bye-bye now.